Just for the benefit of everybody here, some people will know you because you're quite local, you're from Donaghadee, but tell us a little bit about your background and your connection with Bangor Worldwide.
So I'm Esther, as in Queen Esther in the Bible. That's a good namesake. Yes, I'm from Donaghadee. I'm married. I have 3 teenagers. So life is pretty busy. I've got one doing A-levels, one doing GCSEs, and one at university, so it's very busy. Richard, my husband's here, and my mum. So in terms of my background or my involvement with the convention, it goes right back really to childhood. My parents were missionaries with UFM in South America and Brazil, literally up the Amazon in the middle of the jungle, canoes, house on stilts, everything you would think of. And that would be Carol and Gerald Heron, and there will be people here who will absolutely know Mum and Dad. So I'm the eldest of 5. And 3 of us went to the jungle when we were small. So Bangor Convention and the whole mission field was something I was born into. My parents were missionaries around the UK with the Seamen's Mission as well before that. And then as a teen, we came over often with Youth Fellowship and earned early adulthood. And I mean, mission's just part of, it's just, I love it. It's always been part of my life.
What you're doing now is working with Living Water Adopt a Child. And for people who may not know what that particular ministry is about, there it is, yes, on your T-shirt.
Always an opportunity.
But I had a wee look at the website, and I discovered that Living Water Adopt a Child works in Guatemala, where over 8,000 children are fed. 10 weekly feeding programs, and out of that has come 8 churches now scattered throughout the region, preaching the gospel. And then I also discovered it works in Albania. Over 1,000 children are being fed with feeding programs, 8 feeding programs, and 3 churches planted in what is a predominantly Muslim nation. But here's the question. How did you end up working with Living Water and Adopt a Child, and in this role that you now occupy as the area coordinator for Ireland?
Indeed. I'll just take what you said. The Lord called me. It's as simple as that. So the wee plug for the village. If you don't want the Lord to completely transform your life, don't go to the village. Because that's what happened to me. I'm only joking. It's absolutely and utterly amazing when God does something completely new in your life, which he did for me. We hadn't been to the convention for a while, children and all of that, but our guys are getting up now so Rick and I can get out. And I just felt led last summer. It's like we haven't been in a couple of years, let's go. I went to the village after, which I always love. I love talking to all the people at the stands. And Living Water Adopt a Child was the first stand on my left as I walked in the doors. And actually Lorraine, who is my friend, Lorraine Moore, who organises where everybody sits and stands, actually said that the guys weren't meant to be in that place. They had actually been moved there, and I think the Lord was absolutely at his business. And they just drew me in. I learned about vulnerable women. I learned about the support to vulnerable men, to widows, to all the things that I know the Lord had called me to. And I just couldn't let it go. And I knew then, I heard that they were looking for an area coordinator for Ireland, but it was part-time. There were so many things. I was just like, Lord, I can't help myself. I love this. I would love this to be me. I would love to do it. But unless you do it, it's completely impossible. I can't give up my job, be the main wage earner. We've got children at university, children at school still. There's, all the things that you speak to the Lord about. long story short, interviewed, the Lord did amazing things. I left my job. Should I say what I am?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that's the next question.
Well, you were in your job for quite a while. Tell us what it was.
Yes. So on the 29th of February, I left the Southeastern Trust that I'd been working for 25 years or so. I'm a social worker. For 20 years of that, I worked in Lakewood in the Regional Secure Care Centre. And I loved that. And when the Lord told me the season had come to an end, I cried for about a year. Even though I know the Lord was closing the door, then I did a bit of other work, which is around training people to understand the impact of trauma and early life experiences and how that impacts development and so forth. But I yearned to speak the name of Jesus out loud, to put my hand on somebody and say, can I pray for you? I can't do this, working in not being able to speak the name of Jesus out loud. But I never imagined that the Lord would call me and that he would do this for me. It happens in other people's lives, but not me. But sure enough, here I am, left my job, and I was so happy to let it go once the Lord had done his work. I have never felt a level of freedom and joy and happiness like this ever before. It's a whole other level, a whole new thing. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Your new role, tell us very briefly what that entails.
Yes, so being the coordinator essentially means that I go and tell anybody who will listen, even if they don't always want to listen, take every opportunity that I can to just share what Jesus is doing in Albania and Guatemala, because it is really incredible. I mean, it just is incredible. There is already, I'm taking over from a predecessor who has 17 years in the post. So there's a huge network of givers already in Northern Ireland, especially Northern Ireland. We are known for our generosity, Northern Irish people, many in Bangor here as well. And so I will be reconnecting with some of these churches in this next year. And also it's about strengthening those networks that are already there, but also creating new ones using the contacts and the relationships and the people that I have as well, that I can do that. And it would involve then presentations and so forth to many groups of people. Also then to pray. I mean, ultimately prayer is what is needed. Nothing can be done in the name of Jesus without speaking his name and asking the Lord to answer on behalf of the people in Albania and Guatemala. And then part of my induction this year is I'm just back from Albania. I just came back late on Monday evening, and it was just amazing. I really didn't know a lot about Albania, so I've been really on a steep learning curve, learning about Albania and Guatemala. Guatemala feels a little bit more familiar because it's Spanish, so quite similar to Portuguese and obviously Latin-based, connected to childhood. And I'll be going to Guatemala later this year, God willing. And I have a number of stands. So I went to the village last year, got pulled into the Lord's plan. This year I'm going to be standing with the Living Water Adopt a Child stand for the first time. So I'm really looking forward to that. So very busy. It's a part-time role, but very busy and really good fun so far. Much more than my other season, because I can speak the name of Jesus out loud now. Great. Which is just so good.
And just to say, as Esther said, she'll be at Worldwide this year and will be on the stand in the Global Village